Hi there, this is a request video from one of the channel's followers. Do feel free to leave your requests if you would like to see any specific type of videos. This one is an upper body renewal. So we are going to start off in a seated position. Just going to relax down through the shoulders. Your lower body can be in any position you like. We could be in Sukhasana, more of a seated position. We could tuck the toes underneath the body, which allows us just to work on the lower body a little bit here. Wherever we are, we're just going to settle down. Relax through your face and through your jaw. And just allow the breath to begin to slow. We're going to begin with a little bit more movement and then fall into stillness and slowness. So we just start by rolling through the shoulders, really squeezing them up towards the ears as much as you can. Well done, and then begin to draw the arms alongside. Just releasing away any tension that we're carrying in the upper body. If you find that you are in the toe tuck and it's starting to become a little bit much, feel free to undo that toe tuck and just go down onto your shins or into Sukhasana. And on this next arm circle, we're going to hold the arms behind us. We find our other hand and interlink, clasping here, gently drawing back, opening through the chest. Draw your nose a little bit forwards as if you're trying to touch the wall in front of you. As your arms pull back, someone's pulling your wrists towards the wall behind you and a little bit up. If you feel comfortable to here, gently draw a line with your nose up towards the ceiling. We release. We're going to take one arm over, the other arm over, and just give yourself a little hug here. We're going to drop the chest forwards as we do this, just allowing a hanging through the upper body. Your hug should be something that feels right for you, so it might be a little bit lower, more around the torso, or it might be up around the shoulders. Breathing deeply. And swap arms by gently coming up nice and tall. Arms draw wide, other side guides over, and we fall forwards. This is the side that will feel less natural. So don't feel like you need to go as deep into the pose if it doesn't feel right for you. And we come up nice and tall. Well done. We're going to untuck the toes if they were tucked and come into more of a comfortable position for the lower body. So if we do have a bolster or a pillow, then by all means feel free to use that. We could have it completely flat, which I'm going to do today, as this is an upper body focus. It just allows a little bit more release through the upper body. So we're going to turn around and draw the sit bones towards the pillow or bolster, And if we don't have either, you absolutely can do this straight on the floor. So from here, we're going to release the arms all the way back. So we have a few options here. Option one might be a nice straight line back. Maybe we clasp the fingers and allow a release. Maybe we draw the arms wide. Or my personal favorite, create a little square with your arms, holding the opposing elbow, and drop the arms back. This should feel comfortable on the back, not too intense. If it does feel super duper intense, then prop your bolster up a little bit taller at the top end using a block. Or 2 blocks. Begin to melt down with the hips, and most importantly, melt down with the arms. If you find that you release and relax through the upper body and you release and let go of the arms, that's absolutely fine. Wherever you land, once you enter that yin state, i.e. once you release away engagement, release away intent, release away the muscles, wherever you land is your perfect version of this pose. So some days that might be super duper tense, and then other days you might completely relax outwards. Gravity will guide you to your version of this pose today. We don't compare to other days. Yin isn't about progressing each and every time we practice. It's not about the aesthetic of the pose. It's all about how it feels in that moment. We simply tap in and become present, observing what our body needs in that moment, and we just respond accordingly. Yin is such a beautiful practice for allowing us to enter into that meditative state because there's a constant drawing back to present. The intensity of the physical poses acts as a bridge between our focus and our present moment. The ease of the breath, the releasing of the muscles, where we feel, what we feel. These are all things that we can keep drawing upon to return time and time again, no matter how many times the mind wanders. And the more we do this, the easier it becomes to continually return. When you're feeling ready, we gently draw the arms down by your side. We're going to slowly make our way up. The transitions in yin don't have to be nice and flowing. They don't have to be fast. We want them to be really slow, really mindful, just paying attention to the area that we've just worked. Going to take a 30-second counter pose where we close off the body here. You can have butterfly legs, or we could take any pose in the lower body. This is more about just releasing that tension through the upper body here. We allow the neck to fall forwards. Allow the shoulders to curl. Allow a complete heaviness here. Even though we're not chasing progress each week, you'll find that sometimes you just deepen. Your body reaches new depths very, very often when we practice yin, we'll find that what was intense or maybe difficult to relax in last week, we suddenly find relaxing. And equally, what felt good last week might no longer feel as relaxing or as enjoyable, depending on what tension has built up in the week. When we're ready, we slowly come up. We're going to take a lovely twisting pose for our upper body here now. So, rolling away the bolster or pillow if we have one. I'm going to swing around for cat pulling its tail. So, we release and relax back and down. Inhale deeply. And then slowly exhale the legs long, being mindful of how your lower back feels. We have a few options here. Option 1, we lift the left leg. We draw it over towards the other side of the room, and this is where we stay. Option 2, we might bend that base leg, maybe even taking the foot into our hand or the ankle into our hand, or using a belt if you'd like to go for that hold, but it's a little bit out of reach. And then option 3, we can send this top left leg long, if you have enough room. Make this pose work for you. Listen to your hips, listen to your quads, and most importantly, listen to your spine. We are twisting here, we're opening through the upper body. So really think about drawing that right arm out in a way that feels right for you. Soften through the forehead, soften through the jaw. Soften through every muscle that we're targeting here. It's normal for the start of a pose to be filled with physical tension, and then we learn to settle, we learn to relax, we trace within the mind through the body, observing which areas are switched on, which areas might be resisting the pose, and we give those areas permission to settle down one by one, just trusting the pose, trusting your awareness of your body. In yin, we always want to find that balance physically of what is challenging, but what is also right for our body. We never want to push our body past its limits, past its point of comfort. But we also don't want to take poses that feel super gentle, because the intensity is what helps us relax down eventually, because we're focusing on that intensity. It helps us become present, it helps the mind become softer and quieter and stiller as we come more and more into our body, as we notice how the breath dissipates tension in that area. It helps keep us present. It also helps us relax down physically as we are releasing tension from this part of the body, like holding your thumb firmly into a knot until it releases. These poses go deep, deep into the body, into the fascia, allowing it to unwind and release. When you're feeling ready, we gently come back through center. We draw both knees gently together, both feet wide, Your arms can be wherever here. You could draw them back, you could draw them wide, you can draw them down by your side. Allow your upper body to feel relaxed and soft and gentle here. Allow your breath to be just as main of a focus in your counter poses as it is in the poses themselves. And when you're ready, we send the left leg long and we draw our right leg over towards the left side of the room. You might stay here, releasing and relaxing down. We might take that base leg into a deep bend and into the right hand. And then when you're ready, we soften. If you do feel more comfortable with that right leg long and extended, then absolutely feel free to do so. Or you might keep it bent. Yin is not about finding the hardest version of the pose and committing to stillness, making yourself breathe through it. It's about being kind to your body, finding that challenge, finding your edge, learning to breathe through that edge. We use the body as a tool in Yin. We allow the body to become more and more still. Often at the start of practice, we feel more of an urge to fidget, to resist the poses. And the more we melt down physically throughout our practice, the more the mind begins to follow, the nervous system begins to settle, the energy begins to shift into a state of Yin, which allows more of a meditative state. Just because we're in a twisting pose doesn't mean we should allow the breath to be less full, more restricted. We still want to create this space within the belly where we balloon and we release. We often pay a lot of attention to the hips in Yin, but the upper body also carries so much tension. The spine, the shoulders. So this pose is amazing because we have a little bit of shoulder focus, especially if we're opening, a deep focus on the spine and the hips. Complete release. I often think of the body as carrying different types of tension. For example, maybe the shoulders carrying more stress, more responsibility, back holding more fear and anxiety, and the hips holding more emotion, both the inner and outer hips. This ties into the way the meridian system runs through your body. Each part of your body relating to different emotions, different internal organs, depending on which meridian is running through that area. So we focus a little bit on the heart and lung meridians, the urinary bladder meridians, the liver and kidney, and gallbladder meridians here. When you're ready, we come back through center. We draw the knees together and the feet wide, just allowing a relaxation. You could have your arms coming back here. You could have them wide. Just do whatever feels right for you. As the class goes on, the more comfortable silence begins to feel. More at home the body feels in stillness. Silence goes from something that needs to be filled to something that feels quite nurturing. When you're feeling ready, we're slowly going to transition our way into an upright position. Make your own slow, comfortable transition here. And our next pose, I'm going to use a bolster for, but you absolutely can do this without a bolster. Without a bolster, would look a little bit more like this. Or even like this. Your heart will gently drop towards the floor more and more throughout this pose. And if we do feel more comfortable with a bolster today, then we roll it forwards. And I'm just going to prop my elbows, my forearms, or even the upper arm, if you would like a little bit more intensity, onto the bolster. Now, if we are not using a bolster, and you are quite familiar with this pose, you might place your chin down on the ground and look forwards. If we are a little bit more new to this pose, the forehead might gently rest on the floor, or we might turn the head to the side. Begin to soften here, allow the chest to drop. Often in our yang practice, in poses like this where we're deeply arching the back, we would have the abdominals lifted to allow for an even greater stretch through the tummy. In yin, it's all about releasing, relaxing, surrendering. We're not engaging the abdominals. We're not engaging any of the body. We soften down completely. This pose allows us to deeply target through the heart and lung meridians, which are thought to relate to feelings of freedom and love, and the urinary bladder meridian, which is thought to relate to feelings of faith and fear. When we practice yin, we're not only working with the body, deeply moving through the joints, the fascia, connective tissue, working with our range of motion and flexibility. We're also working with the energy body, the meridian system. We're practicing a very intense form of discipline for the mind. We're nurturing the emotional body. We're doing so much all just by being still. The meridian system is so intelligent, it knows what to do. You don't need to do anything at all to allow that flow. When you're ready, we slowly make our way up. Roll the bolster away if we were using one. We're going to come into our counter pose and pose in and of itself. So we send the left leg long. Be really mindful here of how we transition into this pose. We're going to draw the right leg out to the side. This is going to release your lower back. We're going to draw our left arm underneath the body. So it's very compressed here. And the right arm underneath your head is a little pillow. And breathe. Once you find your perfect version of this pose, we soften and we relax. We allow a heaviness. We might close the eyes. Observe how the breath fills the back body, the front body. Observe the chest, the diaphragm, the belly expand and contract. Observe the sensations through your inner hips, your lower back, through your shoulder. If there's any intensity, sit with it and breathe through it as long as it feels right for you. We intuitively know what's right for our body. The intensity should feel like warmth. There should be a slowness to it. If it's building, make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're not resisting with that area. Should find that intensity begins to dissipate. The more we soften physically, the more we relax. And the same can be said for our practice in general. The less yang we are, the more comfortable we feel in yin. Physically, that means the more relaxed we are. Physically, that means the more relaxed we are, the better the poses feel. But mentally, that means the less we are wandering, the less we're trying to do and change, and the more we shift into that state of being and allowing. and just existing, the more nourishing and nurturing that silence feels, the more we begin to shift into a meditative state. When you're ready, we stand that leg long. We thread the right arm under, and we gently draw the left leg out to the side and the left arm underneath the head. We relax down here, softening completely. Wherever you notice any engagement, we release and we relax. We allow a complete melting down. The more the mind begins to wander, the more opportunities we have to continually bring it back to present. Strengthening that habit, improving our ability to come out of our head into our body, into the present. When you're feeling ready, we gently make our way up. And we're going to allow that yang movement to come back into our body here, maybe rolling the shoulders. We guide the hands into Anjali Mudra. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Feel free to like and subscribe if you're not already. Feel free to leave any comments of suggestions of what you'd like next. And also, I'm sorry if my words are a little bit jumbled. I'm currently very sleep deprived, looking after my 5-month-old, so sorry if my words were not as coherent as usual. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one, where hopefully I've had a little bit more sleep. Thank you very much, and have a lovely rest of your day.